All right, so the body is done. So now let's start making the legs. Okay, so we'll start off here. So what I want to do is we want to find the point from where the leg rotation will happen. And then we'll use that point to copy our leg. So what I want to do is I want to take like this guy, and I want to find the center of this little piece. So I'm going to take a group node, and I can let's just call it something. It's not necessary. And then I'll use a bounding object, a bounding box, and yeah, let's just make it small and move it to like here. Yeah, just adjust it a bit. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is fine. And then take a blast and we'll get rid of this. We'll do, oh, sorry, there's already something called C. Okay, it's replacing it, so that's fine. So we do C non-selected. And now take an add node, create a point, and then take a match size, and this will be the center. So there you go. So what it does is it puts it in the center because all of this is kept to center. Why this is also important is not just for copying the leg over here, but this will also become the basis for our KineFX bones. So once this is done, just take a null and we'll call it like out upper leg point, and I can take an object merge and take this in. And what we can also do is like this point, like that point where the shoulder is being copied is actually where our head will rotate. Okay, so that is the bone for our head. So we can also take care of that since we're making this. So I'll just take a blast. Take a blast and set this to points, and that is point number 2, and do delete non-selected. And so just to show you, like if I take these two guys and I merge them together, like this one and this one, and if we do an add, this becomes, by group. So there you go. So this becomes the center for our, see this, because this is the head rotation, and that is where the arms will or the legs will rotate. Of course, we don't need this right now, but it's good to just have it. I'll just copy paste this guy and we'll just plug it in and call it upper out head point. And this I can just keep it up there. Okay, so we'll start off with this guy. And what we want is, I want to take a line in the negative X. Okay, so that's how the leg will be, and that will be copied to this. So we'll do copy to points. So that's C. So that's where it's going. But from a design standpoint, what I want is like it should sort of exceed that, and be like a little bit outside of it. It'll still rotate from this point, but it'll sort of like come out from there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just going to take a transform and just, like push it out till it's about there. And then I can take another transform, and this will be the rotation because it's not going to be flat. So we will model it a little rotated. And this can rotate to like 20 degrees. Yeah, I think 20 should be fine. Okay, so this is the base for, the leg, but like it's two parts, like you have the big rectangular piece and then you have the smaller sort of like the joint. So what we do is I'll take a carve here and we will carve from below, and I'm going to take a split, and this will split into two pieces. So in the carve, you want to say like keep inside and outside, and we're going to split it to, or actually no, we can't do a straight up split because the joint has to be a bit longer, so it has to sort of go inwards. So this is fine. We don't need the split. Okay, just keep it like this. And so this is okay. Now take a vertical line that needs to be copied to that. So we'll take a vertical line and we'll take a match size, so put it in the center. and take a sweep, and we'll plug these in. Yeah, okay, so this is fine. Now, the one thing I want to do is I don't want this exactly in the center. Like I want it to, like this side to be slightly higher up. So just come into the match size and we'll just adjust it to, to be about there. And maybe make the line a little bit smaller and, just adjust it. Like this is design. So whatever you like, you can do. And then I want to bevel these points. So 1 and 2 will be big and 0 and 3 will be small. So let's take a poly bevel. And so points number 1 and 2 points will be big. Okay. Let's see if the rotation still holds up. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so this is good. And then another poly bevel, and this will be, I think, 3 and 0. Set it to points. No, hold on. 1 and 0. And then take a final poly bevel, and this will be for rounding. So just take this and set it to points and just increase the rounding. There you go. So this is nice. And this is exactly where we want it to be. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Maybe we can make it slightly bigger. Now I want to add a cut over there. So what I'll do is, let's take a grid, and this will be like 2 by 2 and 1 by 1. And this will be XY plane. Yeah. And what you want to do is just take this, make it smaller still. I'll press 2 and I'll select this. Let me just lower the height of this. Yeah. So I'll just take this, press E, and yeah, we'll just scale it down. And I want to copy it onto that line. So I can just, sort of like tilt it and move it. So what I can do is, I'm just going to take an orientation along curve for this guy and take a refine. So we can copy it to a specific point and then do a copy to points. So copy to points, let's just take this. This will copy to 2 because the refine point is usually 2, and plug that in. Yeah, and then come into the orientation and we'll have to just adjust this. So take the rotation and yeah, I have never been very good at which one to rotate. So 90 is fine. And then we can take the refine and kind of like move it where I want it. But what I also want is just take a transform and move it up. So take this and just there you go. Okay. So now we can sort of adjust where we want that cut to be. Just make sure that it's further away from the like this circle. Yeah, so just take this and kind of move it there. And then I can just take the grid, maybe make it slightly longer and thinner. Okay, and then this will also be beveled. So I can just take a poly bevel on this guy. And not rounded as yet, just, make it like that. Yeah, I think this is good. Just make it, slightly higher up. And then I can take this and let's do one thing. Let's just take a thicken. So we'll do like a labs thicken in both directions. And I can use this to cut this guy. Okay, so just take a Boolean shatter. And this comes in here, this goes in there. So this is a surface. Yeah, so we'll have two pieces like this. Maybe slightly lesser. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's do one thing. Let's take this poly bevel. Let's remove that. Hold on. No, not that one. This one. And we can, if we plug it in the end, we'll get, yeah, so we'll get like a little bit of rounding on, those sides as well, which is a little bit better. Actually, let's remove the rounding. Yeah, so now we can just, give thickness to this. So I want this to have like slightly less thickness than the main body. So let's take a split here and we can split these. Yeah, so let's do 0 and let's do thicken. We'll do both directions and how much do we want it? Yeah, that's like way too much. So 0.03. Yeah, I think this is good. And we'll do another thicken for this guy, but this will be 0.02. And then let's pick up like these guys from here. So let's do like Control C, Control V. And I can just plug that in, see what we get. Yeah, let's do one thing. Let's just take this. Maybe I can just increase that. Yeah. And the bevel should be like a lot more. Yeah, that looks nice. So do the same thing here. Let's just lower the, yeah, okay, hold on. This needs to be lesser. Yeah, I think let's get rid of this bevel over here. Yeah, then it works better. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, then we'll get like, better beveling on the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. So I can just take this, make it bigger. So we can sort of merge these two together and we get the basic arm. Okay, that looks nice. Don't worry about the shading because when you apply like normals to this, it will be fine. So if I just take like normals, set it to face area, bring it down to 30, and then everything looks fine. Okay, so you're good with this. So I can just take this and yeah, so you don't have to worry about like, the shading looking too bad. Okay, now one last thing we need to do with this is we also need to sort of cut a hole in there. Okay, so which will actually come in from, what I can do is I can take this object and I can just create a tube and plug this in over there and set it to the Z axis. And we can use this for Boolean. Okay, so I can just take this and increase that and do end caps and then just take it out. So take an object merge, and drop it in there. And let's do Control X, come here, and we can do a Boolean. Yeah, there you go. Let's try to do this after that. Yeah, there you go. That doesn't look bad. So I think this needs to be slightly smaller. I think it's gotten too big. So what you can do is come into these extrudes and I can make it this guy. Yeah, make it slightly smaller. Yeah, I think that's okay. So 0.12 should be good. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so this is the this is one part of the leg. Now we need to make the actual joint. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this carve that we have. I'll duplicate it, and this will be I'll just pick up this, and let's say it starts from about there. And what I want to do is I'll take a resample and I just want to calculate curve view. Okay, so just do curve view and then take a float. So we'll attribute it just float, p scale, and we'll do set always remap attribute curve view, and then take a line and we'll sweep it. So just do a sweep and do the same thing, like do a match size so it comes to the center. And so this comes in here, that goes in there. And now we just need to adjust it. So take the P scale and this will be big and that will be small, and then just kind of adjust it. Like it doesn't matter if it goes in there because it won't show up. So that's fine. And I can just sort of adjust this guy, and we can just check with the whole body if we need to make it. I think we should make it slightly longer. Yeah, it's a little short at the moment. I think I want to make it longer still. So this is our, let's just call it upper leg length. Yeah. And I can just make it longer still. Yeah, I think that is good. And then I can adjust this guy a little bit. So there are advantages to working procedurally like this, like these kinds of changes, the whole thing doesn't break, like that's the big thing. And maybe make this slightly bigger as well. Did something change? Wait, my boolean disappeared. Why did my boolean disappear? Oh, yeah, every time you make a change like this happens. So just, yeah, readjust it. That's the one thing you can't keep track of. Like something or the other will break. Like what you can do is if we do a boolean here, if we do the bevels first, and this won't get beveled, but let's say if we want like more beveling on this, it will generate a group for that. So we can come in here into AB seams, and then I can take a bevel for this. So we can do like a poly bevel, and we can pick up AB seams. And so this can be like, yeah, so we can get like a larger bevel for this guy. See. Okay, so going back to this, the advantage is like once we do this much, when I make the lower leg, we can actually just, duplicate all of this and put it over there. Okay, one thing I want to change is let's come into the bevel for this guy because it's not really matching, like this part is getting a little weird. So just come in here to your group for this one and just increase the angle. Yeah, there you go. See, so that's a little bit better. So now we come in here to this fellow and we can sort of adjust how much we want. And then I want the end to be rounded. So what I'm going to do is, because this will become our center for, the lower leg rotation. So I can take a circle and we can copy a circle to, the lower point. So we'll copy a circle to 0.1 and just sort of, scale it down till it matches that. I think if we bring it down to 0.5, it will work. Yeah, there you go. See, so that exact. So now what happens is that if I take the P scale and I adjust the lower size, see, so this actually, like matches perfectly. And then I can just merge these two together. So this and that, and then just take a silhouette. So you'll get labs extract silhouette, and you will get set it to Z axis, and there you go. So you get like a clean shape out of this. But I want it slightly more rounded off. So I can take a resample and just set it to maybe like 100 points. And then also smoothen it out a little bit. So just take a smooth and turn this off. Yeah, there you go. So turn off like constraint boundary, and yeah, just sort of, like just smoothen it out a little bit. And then I want like a hole in the middle. So what I can do is I can just take the same circle that we have copied, but slightly smaller. So I can just take this, do Control C, Control V, bring it in there and make it smaller. And then we can merge these two together. So this and that, and just type in hole, and this will generate a hole in there. There you go. If that is happening, it basically means that there is something wrong with the normals. There you go. So this normals are facing this way, and these normals are facing the other way. So just take a reverse and then do a hole, and then it will be fine. So if we merge these two together and then just, okay, take a thicken, actually take all of this, just do Control C, Control V, and I can just, drop that in. Maybe this can be 0.015, and we can lower the bevel a little bit, and like I can merge these two together. So we have the leg, and maybe I can extend this out a bit. Yeah, I think that's good. And maybe make it a little more, like you can make these adjustments. This is fine. Yeah, so this one I can just a little bit more thicker. And the same thing with this. Okay, so this is fine. Now the last thing I want to do is I just want to create like a joint in the, like a bolt in the middle. So what we can do is we can just take the same circle, like this guy, the smaller one from this point. Yeah. And then just take we can take a thicken. So we'll just do a thicken in both directions. So, and just sort of adjust it. Okay, so I'll make it smaller, and then I'll model one side, and then we'll sort of like do a symmetry to the other side. So let's just press 4. I'll select, we'll do select front facing. I'll select this side, and then just take a poly extrude. Actually, yeah, just do an inset. Yeah, so about like that big. And then we do the usual stuff. So just start making some groups for this. And this won't be anything too fancy. We'll just take this. Yeah, so pretty much like what we've done, with the original sort of bolt that we have. Yeah, I think this is good. And then take a lab symmetrize, and we want to go in the Z axis and plug that in. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it will be there. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we'll have to do this slightly differently. Okay, so mirroring won't work directly because we are not at 0. So what I can do is let's do one thing. Let's just take both directions and we can turn it off. Or hold on, like let's try something else. We might have to do a little bit of round tripping here. Okay, so let's take this circle that we have, and we'll do a match size and bring it to 0. Okay. Sorry, not a match size. So sorry, it took match axis. Yeah. So take a match size and bring this to 0. So it'll be like there. and let's model that. So, yeah, hold on. Yeah, this guy, because the scaling is, this is the point where it gets scaled. So, okay, so now what happens is that we are at 0, and now we can try to apply the lab symmetrize. Keep it to 1 and 0. Yeah, and dissolve. And then I can copy it back to this point. Okay, so I can just take this same thing again, do Control C, Control V, bring it down. And if I do this, except we don't want the P scale anymore. So just take a delete, take an attribute delete and get rid of the P scale. Yeah. So if you've done it right, it should just fit back into place. There you go. See. Yeah, perfect. We just have to lower the thickness a little bit. This is fine. And oh, so the symmetrize did that. Okay, yeah, fine. I was suddenly wondering like where those edges are gone. When you turned on dissolve flat edges, it got rid of like, all of this stuff as well. But we need those, so let it be. And then I can just take, I also want to create like a, like a line in the middle. So we can do that here, like before we do anything else. So let's take this and the same thing as before. So we'll take a line. I'll do a match size. So it's in the center, like a smaller line. And then we take an add a point, take another match size. This is a good way to just find centers of objects or, like wherever you want to place them. And yeah, so this won't be in the center. I can set it to like max in the Z axis, but a little bit towards the inside. And then you can just do like a copy to points and take a sweep. Now you can do a couple of things. Like I can take a sweep here and I can set this to like a ribbon. So I can do this and just rotate it. Yeah, rotate it like 90. Minus 90. Okay, just push it inwards. Like push it there. And then just adjust the ribbon size. And then we can take a poly extrude and just, like shape it up. So I can just take this and bring it out there and then do a slight inset. Yeah, so it kind of slopes a bit like this. And then I can take a bevel. So do Control C, Control V. And I can do a bevel on this. Yeah, there you go. See, so that looks nice. And we can also rotate that just a little bit. And this can also be mirrored. So we take a mirror and this will be 1 and 0. Yeah. Set output back. Okay. And then we can merge all of it together. So this symmetrize and this mirror will get merged. Like we also want to do a little bit of beveling on this guy. So let's do Control C, Control V. And yeah, it'll be lesser. And a little bit of rounding on this. And now we can merge all of this together. So yeah, so this is a fairly, long lesson, but the advantage of this is that when I go for the lower leg, I can reuse quite a bit of this again. So yeah, there we go. So now I can just take this and mirror the whole thing to the other side in the x-axis, in the z-axis. And then I can take a null and bring this guy down like all the way here. and we can merge these two together. So we have our body. There you go. Okay, so next lesson we make the lower leg.